my god. Oh. Okay. Whew. So hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know and haven't seen my latest video, last time you saw me, I was washing the hair that was under my crochet braid or crochet twist. And 2 weeks later, it is now time to remove them. It's time because, no, it's just time. I mean, I'll for every protective style, there's some advantages and then some inconvenience, and I'm going to talk about a little bit of both as I'm removing them, so keep watching, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this protective style. So let's get started. Along this week, since it was the last week I was wearing it, I started to remove some crochet braids that were holding on for dear life. I don't even know how they were holding on to, some of my hair, and it was getting really thin and kind of loose, and I didn't want it to damage my little baby hair in the front or the ones in the back that get tangled just by rubbing against collars and stuff. So I removed them. But now I'm just going to go ahead and remove the rest of them. One thing to know that was interesting is crochet braids, you get a lot of packs when you buy them, but you're not supposed to use that many because it's just a protective style. It's not that visible if you don't cover your whole head. So my braider, she used 3.5 packs, but then by the time I was back home, I just felt like a freaking the Lion King. So I removed some. I removed about 50 of them, 50 crochets throughout my head. And then, it was the first time I did crochet braids, so I feel like I was just learning to feel the amount of hair, the amount of weight I had on my hair and the volume and stuff. So I was just you know what, I read some places on some blogs that you really have to give yourself at least a night where you sleep on your hair, because it's going to reduce the volume and you're just going to start getting used to having it on your head. And it kind of helped, so I tried to not panic, but I still removed about 50 because it just felt some of them felt really tight, and some of them felt unnecessary, especially on the top. So I removed some of them, but all in all, I really liked getting it done. It was really quick. It was about 2.5 hours. So that's pretty quick if you just don't have the 5 hours to sit at the salon. So I got it done in, less than an afternoon. And one thing that I realized pretty quick was how itchy your scalp can get, really. So that's the thing I struggled the most with, was feeling my scalp being itchy and not being able to scratch. I just felt like I didn't want to create any bold spot or irritate my scalp too much. I was kind of struggling with how to maintain it. So I did a lot of reading and stuff, and some of the techniques you can use if your scalp is really itchy is apple cider vinegar. You can just spot treat it. So you put it on a Q-tip or something, and then you just kind of try to clean up the spot that's really itchy, because it could be a combination of just the synthetic hair or the dirt that your scalp is accumulating. Although it's not really in contact with a lot, but you just, your scalp, sweat, and I don't know. And with the sweat, actually, I work out every day, so I felt like that's one of the other things that I didn't really like about having this crochet braid is, let me show you right after I remove this one that's a little stuck because of the jewelry. It was honestly a little bit of a pain in the ass to tie it to work out. So it was kind of nice in a way that I didn't need to freak out with my hair being wet from sweat as I had to go back to work. But let me show you, trying to tie this, it was a pain in the ass. I don't have an elastic band here, but I can barely grab it with my entire, with both of my fingers. And I feel like the only reason I can right now is because they're old and they've kind of lost volume. But at first it was such a pain in the ass. I had to literally put some weight here and then flip it and then flip it back. So that was a little bit of an annoyance, because it would still like flop back and forth. As I was jumping. So that kind of like was annoying, but you just work out for an hour or so and then you just move on. If you want to maintain your edges, you do the same thing in any way that you would do usually with like a tie and with a scarf or whatnot. Yeah, I'm also throwing the jewelry because it's been there for a while. But yeah, so that was one of the things where I just felt like I had a harder time keeping a clean scalp because I work out pretty much every day. Sleeping with it the first couple days I just felt like I had an extra pillow. That was kind of like I adapted pretty fast, but it was interesting. I just felt like, I had an extra pillow and, closer to the end, so this last week and the week before when I really it came to a point where it was just like, all right, I think I'm going to start thinking about removing them. It was just getting frizzy at the bottom, so I'll show you. Oh, maybe I removed it, but there was one in the back. You could see, they don't look that bad right now from afar, but as, I would go, I'm sure I can find another one anyway, where they would just get really frizzy. You could see, a lot of hair coming out, and let me see if I can find the one I was talking about. I feel like I removed it, because it was right here. There was an entire string coming out of it, and I felt like it was going through some of my clothes, and it was just itchy. So I feel like I was itching my back all the time. So but that's just closer to the end. So to be quite honest, the first 2 weeks were really good. I looked great. I didn't mind it. I was still kind of getting used to it, but nothing inconvenient. My favorite weeks were week 2 and 3, because that's really where I got my groove. I got my, I became really comfortable with them. But then week 1 and 4 were a little bit of a struggle. The first one was because I was getting used to them, obviously, and the last one's because I couldn't wait to get them out. But a couple ways that you can maintain them was wash your hair. Honestly, if you need to cleanse your scalp because it's itchy, go ahead and do it. I did it once every 2 weeks. I feel more out of laziness. And as you can see in my other video, it's not that easy. You don't want to get the entire head wet, but at the same time, it's I don't know. So you don't want to get the entire head wet, but you want to clean your scalp correctly, and you don't want to put too much water, but you got to rinse correctly. So I don't know. It's more out of laziness. Look at this one. This one's just very frizzy. So yeah, another tip. So wash your scalp and relieve your scalp as you want it. For the smell, what I found worked the best, especially because of the amount of oil and moisturizing you're trying to do with your scalp. The best thing was dry shampoo, because it helps with the smell and you can just kind of refresh it, especially after the gym. That's kind of what I would do. Or in the morning after, moisturizing my scalp before bed with oil, and then it would still smell in the morning, kind of. Plus, I don't know, it kind of sounds like I'm dirty, but you will not make me believe that your scalp doesn't need to breathe a little bit and it doesn't smell after working out. Just natural dirt that you need to wash out. So, I don't know, maybe I'm dirty. I don't know. But it just, the smell, the smell of dirty hair bothers me. Or not dirty, but just too much product in your hair after a little bit that's not freshly washed starts to bother me. So, look at this one too. It's really puffy. So yeah, and then, so washing your scalp is one, and then re-dipping it. So, when you put synthetic hair in your head or on your head, they put the hot water. You would dip them in hot water to set it. Don't hesitate to do it once you've washed your hair to reset and tame the frizz. So I did that after I washed my hair in my other video, and that kind of helped reset them and reduce the frizziness. So to summarize, here are the few things you can do to maintain your hairstyle. It is to wash your scalp, do some apple cider vinegar rinses when you need to, redip the ends when you feel like it's getting really frizzy, and dry shampoo after working out at the roots. And honestly, that's how I dealt with most of the inconveniences from this style. So yeah, I'm almost halfway, and I'm going to put on a show and finish. We'll see you once everything's out. See ya. And then, so yeah, I'm going to detangle the whole thing, and then I'm going to do my pre-poo with rice water and Jamaican black castor oil, and move on to my wash day. I'm curious, I'm not going to say excited, because that's weird. I'm going to say I'm curious to see the shedding I have once I detangle, and I'll show you once I'm done. So let's move on, but first let me show you all the hair I removed. All this is gone. Look at this. So yeah, I'm going to throw this all out and I'm going to start detangling. So yeah, as I'm taking the first cornrow out, I was expecting it to be like very dry, or I don't know like what, but actually it feels pretty moisturized, and I have some of the smell from washing my hair still. The shoe moisture line, I can still smell it a little bit, so I'm interested, like I'm here for it. I'm here for the not dryness. That's gonna be cool. Let's keep going. So this is what it looks like at the end. I'm going to detangle it all and then go to my wash day. This is the shedding before. So yeah, I hope you like this video. Let me know if you have any questions about protective style. What's yours? Because I'll definitely do it again. I mean, I really liked it. It was really convenient. So I'll try it again in the future. In the meantime, I will see you next time. See ya.